It has been an excellent start to the 2025-26 season for Everton. David Moyes' side have won their last two Premier League games after a defeat on the opening day of the season away to Leeds United. The highlight so far is surely the 2-0 win in the first competitive game at the Hill Dickinson Stadium against Brighton. There have been some standout players so far for the Toffees. Jack Grealish has been sensational, with 4 assists already to his name in just 2 top-flight starts. He, alongside fellow new signing Kieran Dewsbury-Hall, has been nigh on unstoppable so far this term. The 2 new Toffee stars have formed a really strong partnership with fellow attacker Iliman Ndiaye. At 25 years of age, Senegal international Ndiaye is on the cusp of entering his peak years. It certainly feels like Toffee supporters are witnessing one of their most exciting attackers in years, given a start to the season and the form he has shown for the club so far. Last season, his first as an Everton player, the former Sheffield United star was excellent. He played 37 games across all competitions and scored 11 goals. 9 of those strikes came in the Premier League. The 2025-26 campaign has begun in much the same fashion for the attacker. He's played 3 top-flight games so far, bagging in 2 of them. The first strike was one of his most special, with Ndiaye scoring the first competitive goal at their new stadium on Bramley Moor Dock. It is not just Everton fans who can see how good Ndiaye is. Pundits such as Jamie Carragher have taken note, too. The former Liverpool defender said last season that the Senegal international is an absolute star, summing up how Toffee supporters must feel about him, too. With that in mind, it might be a surprise to learn that the 25-year-old is actually not among Everton's highest earners. According to Capology, he is on just £45,000 per week at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. That is a figure that is far less than players in Moyes' squad who have faced criticism for performances rather than praise. There is one person in particular who springs to mind. It is certainly a surprise that Ndiaye earns so little at Everton. Factoring in his relevant importance, it is not outlandish to think he should be up there with top earners Grealish, who is on £225,000 per week, and Jordan Pickford, who earns £125,000 per week. Instead, shockingly, he earns less than someone like Michael Keane, who has not really covered himself in glory during his time as a Toffee, at least not to the same extent as Ndiaye. The center-back is surprisingly in the top 5 pay brackets at Everton. This term, an injury to Jared Branthwaite has seen Keane step into the side for the first 3 Premier League games and play 90 minutes in each. He also played the entire game in their Carabao Cup second round win over Mansfield Town. Yet, over the last few years, Keane has barely featured under the likes of Sean Dyche and Moyes. Since 2022-23, the most league games he has played in one campaign have been 14, which was last season. Where Ndiaye has received lots of praise for his efforts in an Everton shirt of late, it has been the opposite for Keane. In fact, his namesake, former Manchester United captain Roy Keane, once described his defending as really poor. With all that in mind, it is a surprise to learn that he earns £70,000 per week at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. That is £25,000 more than Ndiaye, who has certainly performed better over a period of time for the Toffees than Keane has. Once Branthwaite is back in action, it will be interesting to see if Keane can keep his place in the Everton side. If not, perhaps club owners, the Friedkin group, are better off cutting their losses soon and selling the defender to help save room in the wage budget.